Hi, I'm Sarah Belmont. I'm the web developer at William & Mary Libraries. I've been here for about 3 years, and I work on the library website, the front end of the catalog, a lot of the digital displays you see around in the library, kind of anything visual on a monitor is sort of what I help out with around here. I work in content services, which is kind of the behind-the-scenes area of the library that nobody really knows about, where all of the new materials and resources come through and get processed, cataloged, and eventually end up upstairs on the shelves or online in electronic format for researchers to get to. So I'm going to show you around a little bit and see what's in our department and how donations help us do what we do. So we're in part of the digitization lab that we have here in Content Services. This is where we scan all of the material from special collections and then put it online in our digital archive where anyone can access it on their computer. We've got a number of scanners, one of which, our newest one, was actually acquired through private fundraising, and that's going to be for scanning and uploading materials into our institutional repository, which is ScholarWorks. The other scanners are a mix of flatbeds. We also have what's called a sheet-fed scanner, which is what we're using to digitize the Robert Gates papers. We've got all of his papers from his time when he was at the CIA and serving as Secretary of Defense. That's a huge collection. And some of the other scanners are much larger camera-operated devices where we can shoot materials like Cuban posters, maps. We recently digitized a World War I flag. One of the important ways that donations can help us down here in Content Services is through our collections. So you can see here a lot of the new material that are getting ready to be processed and eventually cataloged of new databases that were made available to us through private donations. And those include a number of newspapers, historical newspapers for like the New York Times, Chicago Tribune, Boston Globe, and a whole host of other local and other area newspapers. Another important collection we were able to add was the Archives for Gender and Sexuality, which is a great database that talks about the history and issues facing the LGBTQ population going back to about 1940. So donations like that are really important to help us increase our collection, really improve the diversity of it, and better serve the needs of students and researchers here on campus.
My name's Kate Mcallister. I'm a cataloging and metadata librarian. Most of the work I do is with the Special Collections Research Center, which holds all kinds of collections of historical books and manuscripts and archives. One of the biggest collections, which we've just about finished cataloging, is the Chapin Horowitz collection of dog books. It's the second biggest collection of books about dogs in the United States, and we're actually preparing to put up an exhibit for it now for One Tribe, One Day to highlight some of the things that are in it. There's historical books on dog training. There's famous fictional books about dogs like Hound of the Baskervilles and this early edition of Lassie. There's strange and unusual books like books about your dog's horoscope and what their birth date tells you about their personality. Even though it sounds like an unusual collection, you can see with the variety of material it covers, it could be useful to all kinds of researchers or just people who are interested in dogs in general.
In addition to collections and the digitization lab, one of the other ways that donations help us down here in Content Services is by hiring student workers. They can help us process the new materials that come in. They help with cataloging, which then gets them into the catalog and available to researchers quicker. We also have graduate students that are helping transcribe documents, largely for the Georgian Papers program, which is our big partnership with the Royal Archive in London, transcribing all of George III's papers. So I hope you've liked this behind-the-scenes look at content services, and don't forget to donate on One Tribe, One Day.